they use here, and it says that the altitude to the hypotenuse of a right triangle forms two triangles that are similar to each other and to the original triangle, which is a lot of talking. So what they're basically saying here is that an altitude, which is the distance, the vertical distance from a side, okay, it's the height of a triangle. So it's, let me get a different color so you can see it. So they're saying if you have a right triangle and you draw the altitude from a side, okay, it makes, notice we now have 3 right triangles. No, they do not. I mean, we could try and find one that would kind of match what we're doing, but they just pull the textbook pages out of whatever books they go off of, and it's usually a mixture of books. So, okay, so notice when you draw that line, you get 3 triangles. The first one you had, and then this pink one, and then this blue one. So do you see where we come up with 3 different triangles there? Okay, and what they're saying is that those are all similar. So when we put their sides in ratios, they all make the same ratio. And so the first thing they want you to be able to do is to be able to separate those 3 triangles out and write down what similar triangles you have. Okay, and the suggestion is to write them all using their right angle. Okay, so the first thing we do is draw them. So my example down here, if I pull this triangle apart into the 3 triangles, I have my full triangle here. Okay, so I want to redraw that triangle to look like the others. So I'm going to draw them all like this. All of them pointing this direction with my right angle right there. Okay, so that's what we want to do. That's the easiest way to line up your parts. So I have the big one, I have the medium-sized one, and I'm going to have a little one. Okay, so this is part of what they want you to be able to do, is to be able to pull those apart and name the corresponding triangles. All right, so let's start with the big one. So that's our entire triangle outlined in blue. What would be the name of this angle? Where's the right angle on our triangle over here? What's it? What letter is that? Good. So here's our J. Let me get a little bigger font. So here's J. Okay, then we have one side longer and one side shorter. Okay, so which one is long and which one is short is what you want to look at. So notice this J to L is shorter, so I'm going to put my L right here so that JL is the shorter side. And then J to K is longer, so I'm going to put the K here. So this is my longer side, this is my shorter side. And then notice the side across from the right angle should be from K to L, and it is. So does that make sense so far, what I did there? Okay, now let's do the medium-sized triangle. Okay, so I'm going to outline it first so I know what I'm looking at. So I'm looking at this triangle that we formed right here. It's my medium-sized triangle. So my right angle, what letter am I going to put here? What letter is the right angle of the medium-sized triangle? Good. Yep, M. So M is this corner. What's going to be up here at this corner? What letter? J. Good. So it's really set up exactly the way it was. Notice my shorter side was JM, My shorter side is still JM. My longer side was KM, KM, and the slanted side across from the right angle was KJ. All right, now we're down to our small triangle. So let's do our small triangle now and label it. Okay, so here's our right angle right there. So what letter's going to go down here? L, J, and M. Good. Yep, so we'll have M here. Our short side should be LM because that's the shorter one. The longer one should be JM. Good. So when they say write a similarity statement, you write the first triangle in whichever order you want, which they're having multiple choice questions, so that causes some difficulty because you have to figure out. But the first one we can write in any order we want to. Okay, so let's say I named it KJM. That's my first triangle. Then we do a little squiggly line that means is similar to triangle. When we name the second one, whoops, I put a wrong letter there, didn't I? Okay, when we do the second triangle, we have to name them in the right order. So we named this one K, then J, then L. When we come to this one, we want the parts to line up. So I'd have K, and then M, because that one matches up with my J. It's in the right, and then J. And it's weird because we're using all of the same letters, but since we're naming different triangles, they end up in different order. Okay, so what would the last one's name, what order would it go in if it needs to match up with these two? That's kind of why we pull them apart and look at them in exactly the same direction so that then we can name them a little more easily. Okay, so when we named these two, we started with this point out here, then named the right angle, then named the top. So we want to start this point out here, then the right angle, then the top. See how we named them all in the same order? When you name similar figures, you have to do them all in the same order. So this one we started with the point out here, then our right angle, then the top. Out here, right angle, top. So we need to do the same thing here, same order. Good. So this would be the similarity statement for those three triangles that are formed. So it's kind of a complex, and you'll want to have a piece of paper. The first thing you do is write down the three triangles and put their points in the right place. Then you can write your similarity statement for them. Okay, so let's write a similarity statement for this triangle, or this set of triangles. So again, let's start with the big one. And you want to draw them on a piece of paper and have them all facing the same direction. So I'm going to put the big one. Actually, I'm going to come over here. Okay, so you draw it and then label it. So notice my right angle is Q, so I want my right angle to be Q. This is my shorter side is QR, so here's my shorter side, I want it to be QR. And then my long side from the right angle was PQ, so I want this one to be PQ. So is that part making sense okay, as far as drawing it out and then labeling the pieces? Okay, so now let's do the medium-sized triangle. So this one right here. And I know I'm making them a little smaller over here, but they're still. Okay, so the first thing I would do is make sure I have the right angle named. So my right angle was S. Okay. Then I go, okay, which was the short side coming off the right angle? It was QS. So the short side in my picture here, I want to have the same, QS. What was the long side? PS. So I want this side to be PS. And then finally, you do the small one. And if you'll do that, if you'll take the time to draw them out, all facing the same direction, it makes it a lot easier to do a similarity statement. Okay, so when I draw that shortest one again, start with your right angle and go, okay, what letter should be at my right angle? Should be S. Then you, okay, where's my short side? There's my short side. It should be S with an R on the other end. So in my picture, the short one should be an S with an R on the other end. And then here, my long side was an S with a Q on the other end. So same thing here, S with a Q on the other end. Okay, then you write out your similarity statement. So again, the first triangle really can go in any order you want. What order do you want to write the first triangle in? It has a P, an R, and a Q. We can put them in any order. Okay, you want PRQ. Okay, but then the next ones, when we write them down, we need to make sure we use the same order for the same parts. So let's look at what order we named these in. We went P, and then up to the slanted side R, and then down to the right angle Q. So when we name the other ones, we have to do it in the same order. So this one was P, R, Q. Okay. What will be the name of this triangle to match it? Good. Perfect. PQS. Similar to triangle, and what will be the name of this one? Perfect. Okay, that is a correct similarity statement. Now, when they give you multiple choice questions, it makes it more challenging because what you want to do is look at their statements, make sure each name has the right letters in it, and then you have to find and make sure they're in the right order. So you would just try out each multiple choice question until you find the one that's